What if a single glance at your phone could cost you your life and then show you the hidden spiritual battles raging all around us? My name is Chloe Davis. I was 18, a normal high school junior, until the night of February 12th. That night, I died for 9 minutes and 36 seconds when my car, a mangled wreck, hit a tree. All because I looked at my phone. But what I saw in those minutes, the truths unveiled about our connection to technology, the spiritual forces at play, and the overwhelming love that awaits, changed not just my life, but my understanding of life itself. The details of this journey are unlike anything you might expect. Stay with me because what was revealed could change the way you see everything. I grew up in Millfield, Oregon. Life was pretty standard. High school, 2 younger brothers, parents working hard. I was on the volleyball team, had decent grades, and like most teens, spent a lot of my free time scrolling through social media. I wasn't a queen bee, but I had my circle, and my 2,300 Instagram followers felt like the world back then. It was raining that night, not a downpour, just that slick, steady drizzle that makes the roads treacherous. I was driving home from my friend Amber's house around 9:30 p.m. My phone buzzed. A notification. Some guy I had a crush on had posted a story. Without a second thought, almost an automatic reflex, I picked up my phone to check it. 5 seconds. That's all it took. 5 seconds of my eyes on that glowing screen and I missed the curve in the road. The world exploded in a deafening crunch of metal, shattering glass, and then an absolute, profound silence. Nothing. The next thing I knew, I wasn't in my car. I was floating? Standing? There aren't really words for it. I was above the scene looking down. Flashing red and blue lights pulsed in the dark, 2 police cars and ambulance. People were running urgent. And then I saw my car wrapped around a tree, the driver's side obliterated. And then I saw me. My body. They were pulling me out, laying me on a stretcher. I looked broken, blood everywhere, my face so pale, almost translucent. A paramedic was doing CPR, pumping my chest relentlessly, over and over. Another one was yelling, his face etched with the fear I could see but not hear. Logically, I should have been terrified. But I wasn't. A profound peace washed over me, a sense of okayness I'd never known. It was as if all the worry, the anxiety, the constant pressure I'd carried my entire life just melted away. It was a relief so immense, it was almost euphoric. This wasn't just an absence of fear, it was the presence of an absolute, unshakable calm. Then the strangest thing happened. The accident scene, the paramedics, even my own lifeless body on the stretcher began to fade. A warmth enveloped me, pulling me gently backward. A light, soft and inviting like sunrise through your bedroom curtains, grew brighter behind me. It wasn't harsh, it was beckoning. I turned towards it, and the light expanded until it was all around me, so brilliant, yet it didn't hurt my eyes. The warmth intensified, like being embraced by every person who had ever loved me, all at once. And that's when I saw him. I just knew it was Jesus. Not the figure from Sunday school pictures, but different. He was light, somehow shaped like a person. But his eyes. I could see his eyes so clearly. They were filled with more love than I can ever describe. It was a love that knew every single thing about me, every mean thought, every lie, every insecurity, every mistake I'd ever made, and he loved me completely, unconditionally anyway. In his gaze, I felt utterly exposed, yet fully clothed, all my secrets laid bare, but it didn't matter because I was completely, perfectly accepted. Chloe, he said. My name sounded like music, like he'd been waiting to speak to me my whole life. I couldn't speak. I just started crying, not tears of sadness but of overwhelming relief of recognition. It was like I'd been lost my entire life without even knowing it, and I'd finally been found. He smiled. Walk with me, he said. There's something you need to see. We were no longer in the pure light. We walked through what seemed like a vast room with walls made of shifting light. Then, the walls transformed and suddenly we were surrounded by screens, hundreds, thousands of them, floating all around us. On each screen, I saw young people, kids my age, some younger, some older, all utterly engrossed in their phones. Look closer, Jesus said. I focused on one screen. A girl, maybe 14, was scrolling through social media in her bedroom, a deep sadness in her eyes. As I watched, dark, shadowy forms gathered around her, whispering things I couldn't quite hear. With every image she scrolled past, every curated life she compared herself to, the shadows grew larger, darker. What are those? I asked, a chill running through me despite the warmth I'd felt. They feed on comparison, Jesus said, his voice gentle but firm. On envy, on self-hatred, on the pervasive feeling of never being enough. He guided me to another screen. A boy, perhaps 12, was playing a violent video game, his face blank, almost hypnotized. The same shadowy entities were there, but they felt different, more agitated, angrier. These feed on rage, Jesus explained, on the insatiable need for revenge, on fantasies of power and violence. Screen after screen showed variations of the same heartbreaking scene. Kids, teens, even adults, all tethered to their devices, yet profoundly disconnected from each other, from themselves, and from the world around them. And around each person, these shadows, these beings were feeding on their raw emotions, whispering insidious lies, growing stronger with every click, every scroll, every moment of disengagement from reality. These spirits, these influences have always existed, Jesus said. But they never had such easy, direct access to so many minds and hearts. Your generation and those before it unwittingly handed them a key, an open invitation. Then he took my hand and the scene shifted. We were looking at me in my bedroom, endlessly scrolling through Instagram late at night instead of sleeping. Me checking my phone during dinner while my mom was trying to talk to me, her words unheard. Me taking 40 selfies just to get one that felt good enough to post, chasing a fleeting sense of validation. And I could see them, the shadows, gathering around me too, whispering their toxic refrains. You're not pretty enough. Look how much better her life is. Nobody really likes you. You need more followers. You need more likes. You'll never be enough. I started crying again, but these were tears of horrified realization. I didn't know, I whispered. I had no idea. Most don't, Jesus said gently. That's why I'm showing you. The scene changed again. We were in a vast space that felt like a command center. Beings of pure light, angels, were working, moving with purpose, responding to something. Watch, Jesus said. He showed me a teenage girl on her knees beside her bed praying. As she spoke, her words became shafts of light, shooting upward. Immediately, several angels moved, and a shimmering shield of light formed around her. The shadows that had been circling her, sensing her vulnerability, retreated, unable to penetrate the barrier. One sincere prayer, Jesus said, his voice resonating with power. That's all it takes to activate heaven's protection, to call for aid in this unseen battle. He showed me more. Families with no phones at the dinner table, truly talking, laughing, connecting. Teenagers outside, their faces turned up to the sun, not down at screens. People reading actual, physical books. Friends having real conversations, looking into each other's eyes, not through a filtered lens. This is connection, Jesus said, his eyes filled with a tender light. Real connection. This is what you were made for. Then he showed me something that shattered my heart. My parents, sitting in a stark hospital waiting room. My mom was sobbing into my dad's chest. My dad, a man I'd never seen cry, had tears streaming down his face, his strong shoulders shaking. They love you so much, Chloe, Jesus said softly. More than any follower, any like, any comment ever could. I saw my little brothers, Tyler, only 10, his face a mask of confusion and fear, asking if I was going to die. Jake, 14, punching a wall in the hospital hallway, then sliding down to the floor, his body racked with sobs. The weight of their grief, their love, was a physical blow. I want to go back, I choked out. Please, I need to tell them. I need to tell everyone what I saw. Jesus looked at me with those eyes, so full of love and understanding. Is that what you truly want, Chloe? To go back? I hesitated. Being with him in that light felt so perfect, so complete. Every worry, every insecurity, every fear was gone. The peace was beyond anything earthly. The thought of leaving his presence was almost physically painful. It will hurt, he warned gently, his gaze never wavering. Your body is broken. The road back will not be easy. The world you return to will be loud, and the lessons you carry may be heavy. I know, I said, a new resolve hardening within me. But they need to know. My friends, my family, everyone with a phone in their hand right now, they need to know what's really happening. They need to know they're not alone in this fight, and that there's a better way. Jesus smiled, a radiant, beautiful smile. That's why I chose you, Chloe. Your heart was always bigger than your followers could see. He took my hands in his. They were warm and I could see faint scars in his palms, a silent testament to ultimate love. Remember what you've seen, he said, his voice both a command and a plea. Tell them their worth isn't measured in likes or shares. Tell them real connection happens face to face, heart to heart. Tell parents to pay attention, to be truly present. The battle for their children's minds and souls is real, and it's happening now. I wanted to memorize his face, the feeling of being in his presence, to stay there forever. One more thing, he said, his eyes holding mine. Tell them I love them. Tell them I'm waiting to talk with them to offer them the same peace and acceptance if they'll just look up from their screens long enough to listen. Then he hugged me. I can't describe what that felt like being filled with pure light, like finally coming home after being lost for an eternity. It's time, he whispered. And then everything went dark. Pain. Blinding, searing pain. That was the first thing I felt everywhere. Beeping sounds, urgent and intrusive. Bright lights that stabbed at my eyes. The sharp, antiseptic smell of a hospital. A tube down my throat choking me. I couldn't move, couldn't speak. I heard someone say muffled, "We've got a pulse." She's back. Everything hurt. Breathing hurt. Even with whatever medication they were pumping into me, the pain was overwhelming. In that moment, I would have given anything to go back to that place of peace to be with Jesus again. I heard my mom's voice, cracked and tearful, "Chloe? Baby, can you hear me?" I couldn't answer, couldn't even open my eyes fully, but I felt her hand take mine, and I managed the faintest squeeze of her fingers. The doctors later told me I had died at the scene for 9 minutes and 36 seconds. Medically, I shouldn't have survived. If I had, severe brain damage from lack of oxygen was almost a certainty. Yet, 3 weeks later, I walked out of that hospital. Broken bones were healing, cuts turning into scars, but my brain was completely intact. The doctors called it a miracle. They were right, but they didn't know the half of it. Coming back to normal, life was hard, harder than I ever expected. Everything looked different. Everyone hunched over their phones, oblivious to the world, to each other. And sometimes, just out of the corner of my eye, I could still see those fleeting shadows, gathering, feeding. The first time I told my parents what I'd seen, they looked scared. Mom cried. Dad just held my hand, his grip incredibly tight. But they believed me. They'd seen the miracle of my survival. They knew something profound had happened. My friends reacted differently. Some thought I was making it up for attention. Others were just uncomfortable. But a few listened, really listened. I deleted all my social media apps. At first, it felt like withdrawal, that constant phantom buzz in my pocket, the urge to reach for my phone. But after a while, something amazing happened. I started seeing things again. The way clouds change color at sunset, the sound of my brother Tyler humming as he did homework, the genuine smile on my mom's face when I actually paid attention to her stories. Real life, vibrant and beautiful, happening all around me. I started a support group at school, Look Up, just a reminder to do that simple thing. More kids came. A local newspaper did a story. My parents changed too. Device-free dinners became our norm. We started playing board games again. It's been 6 months. The scars are still there, physical reminders. But they remind me of what's real. If you're watching this, please hear me, your worth isn't in your followers. Those apps are designed to hook you. There are spiritual forces at play. Parents, your kids need your real attention. I'm not saying throw away all technology, that's not realistic. But be intentional. Set boundaries. Remember what it feels like to be truly present. I died looking down at my phone. I missed the curve in the road because a notification felt more important than my life. Don't make my mistake. Whatever's on your phone can wait. The people in front of you, the life around you, they are what matter. Jesus showed me 2 possible futures. One where we're lost to our devices and another where we find our way back to each other. He didn't say which would happen. I think that's up to us. What are your thoughts on this incredible near-death experience and the messages Chloe brought back? Share your reflections in the comments below. If this story touched you or made you think, please consider sharing it with others who might find comfort or insight. For more profound stories and explorations into what lies beyond, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Perhaps you've had a similar experience? We'd be honored to hear it with respect. When this video ends, don't just scroll. Look up. Connect.